So what's going on YouTube is happy. Man, I'm sorry, I forget the days of the week. I think it's probably going to be Wednesday. Yeah, it's probably Wednesday. Right now, I'm sitting here in Mississippi. Um, Here we go, guys. Okay, now I got a lot of backlash from the video I made yesterday saying, "How dare you? You know, how come you're not on the picketer side and things of this nature, whatever." You know, but you gotta you gotta understand me. You know, I'm not a guy that wants to go out and beg for handouts and try to get people to change a certain policy that they may have in order for me to make money. You know, I'm a guy that's been out here for about, like I said, 10 years or so now, and I depend on myself to make money. Now, let me give you, because some people say you don't understand what the protesters are actually talking about. So, with that being said, well, before we get to that, let me just give you some certains here, and you will know exactly where I'm coming from on this. First certain is this: when you go to college, right, and you pay all your money to this college. First of all, let's understand what a college is. A college is a business. It's a business that says, hey, if you pay your money here, there's a good chance that you may have a job when you get out of this institution. Usually people have debt and things of this nature, whatever, once they get out, and then they try to find a job. So there's no guarantee. You don't sign a piece of paper that says, hey, once I finish this institution, I will have a job. That's the first thing. Second thing is this: when you're working a job, and this is what I always say, when you're working a job, there is no guarantee that you're going to be at that job for the rest of your life. I will repeat that because some of you I don't think get that. There is no guarantee that you will lose. I mean that you will be at this job for the rest of your life. Because first of all, let's ask yourself a question. Ask yourself a question. Men who have ideas don't open a business and say things like, you know what, I want to open a business so I can make sure Americans have good jobs. No, a guy opens a business because look, I have an idea, and it's going to take people in order to make this idea come true. So let me find some people that I think will fit with my company, so we can turn a profit. And if you stop turning profits and yet you still are paying employees and things of this nature, whatever, and you can no longer afford to keep those employees, guess what? They got to go. You see, some people get jobs and they're like, oh my gosh, let me go out and buy a house. Let me go out and buy a car. My wife has a car. I need a new car because we need dependable rides. And you go out and you spend all your money on these things and blah blah blah. And before you know it, you're in debt. The American way. And all of a sudden, when the rug is pulled from under you, you want to blame somebody. You know, you didn't form book clubs to start financial, to learn more about finance and learn how to keep debt down or learn how to start a business on the side. No, you partied. You had get-togethers at your house. You worried about putting fire pits in your backyards. Because you only live once, right? And see, for those of you who say I'm out of touch with the protesters, I'm going to read you an exact quote that I wrote down that the protesters said. This is what they said from the protesters. There are millions of people in this country without jobs. Okay. I think we're turning into an entrepreneurial society myself, but that's what she says. There are millions of people in this country without jobs. He said, and 1% of the people have 99% of the money. Somebody should write a book, and actually, I think that's inaccurate. I don't think it's 1%. Actually, I think it's about maybe 3 to 5%. But anyways, it's a percentage. But I would just say this: that when it comes to the 1%, I guarantee you they're not sitting around with their thumbs up their butt. They're hard chargers. There are guys who are sitting there in the garage right now, actually trying to execute their ideas. Like they're the Google guys. They're Bill Gates. They're Michael Dell. They're all of these guys who are sitting there with ideas, creating things. And you can do the same thing, but you make excuses like, I don't know anything about entrepreneurship. I don't know anything about jobs. I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about that. Well, guess what? It's time to learn. There are no jobs that are going to be created anytime soon, Americans. So for you to hold a picket sign right now, you're wasting your time. You're trying to turn this into a socialist government. Basically, you're asking the president, who's a lawyer, who went to school at Harvard to study law, you're asking him to create jobs. You know why I'm not really on the protest side right now? Because you're sitting there wasting time. You don't have money to begin with. You're sitting there wasting time trying to get someone else to change your mind when you could be executing your idea. You could be making money. Because God knows, if I'm going to sit there and waste my time with a picket sign, I'm not going to lose out on the things that I just created with ideas. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to move forward. I'm not going to worry about what the government's doing. I'm going to continue to move forward. And since I've done that process, my income has went up every year. Not down because of the recession. Not any of those things. I just keep my eye on the prize. So I'm sorry for you guys who says, you're not on the picketed side. I'm not on anybody's side that whines. No. I can't control Bank of America's fees. But what I can control, if I don't like Bank of America fees, I can take all my money out and I could put it in the bank that doesn't have as much. Simple as that. Do I need to hold a picket sign to tell Bank of America, how dare you? No. If they want to charge $5, they're probably going to lose customers. So what do? Like I said, you take your money out and you leave. So guys, like I said, that's just my opinion. Let me hear what you guys say. We're getting more into this discussion. I think this discussion needs to be, I can't even talk here. We need to have this discussion. So that's just my 2 cents. So thank you guys for watching. If you first time coming upon this channel, please subscribe. And until next time, signing off.